Good morning, everyone. Well, just to clarify things, somebody asked me the other day, where do you record these things? Are you in a library or something? I said, well, no, I'm actually just in my office. I think it's important to appreciate, although these are daily reflections, and certainly they're my take on some of the things, that I don't just simply suck them out of my thumb. I do research this stuff, and some of the books you see behind me are sort of reference material. And obviously online, everything is available. Important thing is if you're going to do a search, remember to put the word Catholic into it. Otherwise you'll get some very interesting answers. But in that regard, over the last few weeks, you've had some tension between the Pope and some politicians who say, well, yeah, there's always tension between politics and the church. Well, of course, that tension was related to some of the American political leaders who effectively are Christian nationalists. It's not a criticism, it's just an observation. But their view is very conservative, very fundamental. And sometimes they used biblical quotations, particularly from the Old Testament, to justify the war in Iran. And then the Pope had to come back and sort of say, oh, hang on, let's just remind ourselves that Jesus came to upgrade that teaching, and we need to be aware of what was said. But it was quite interesting in terms of the readings that we have for today. I was looking at the first reading is Acts of the Apostles. And in there, St. Luke quotes the Old Testament. And this is in Acts of the Apostles, it's actually chapter 4, but the psalm that he's quoting is actually Psalm 2, verses 1 to 2. And he says, why this arrogance among the nations, these futile plots among the peoples, kings on earth setting out to war, princes making an alliance against the Lord and against his anointed? I think that last sentence is quite important, because when people start dragging religion into political solutions, sometimes they get a bit of a blurred view and sometimes a biased view. I think that's what the Pope is trying to sort out, saying, look, let's just put this thing into perspective and not just find the bits that suit our own argument. So when we look at that, understanding that it's not the tension that goes on between the state and religion, but rather making sure that whenever we make declarations and so forth, that we understand where they come from properly, and we understand that they're authoritative and not just some biased view. So you have yourselves a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.